Hello, this is Brennan Wilmington, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational race. This is the fourth race of the fourth season of the LSCI, and this is our first race of the year to take place west of the Mississippi. The first three races were all in the southeast. You had the season opener at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Georgia, headed up to North Carolina for the second race at the Rockingham Speedway, then went down to Florida and Miami. But we are now in Arizona at the Phoenix Raceway. And Phoenix is known for being a very hot place. And today is no different. It's 95 degrees out here, despite it only being April 10th. So that's just how it is over in Arizona. We went to this track last year and it was a thrilling race. And we've got the same co-commentator that we had in that race back again this year. It's Eddie Debs for his first race of the season. And Eddie, of course, you were up here in the booth with me in this race last year, and it was a wild race. Are you expecting more of the same here this year?
I would hope so. I mean, wild means entertaining to me when it comes to stock car racing. So I'd be more than happy to watch a race very similar to last year's race, albeit a couple of things happening in this race that are a lot different, especially given this race is no longer in its spot where it was last year, where it was rather late in the schedule. You could see where the championship races were developing. Right now, I mean, you told me during practice this is the last race, but where they stop using owner points for qualifying from last year. So we're still very early in this season, which I don't want to say explains the point standings right now, but I mean it explains why we're seeing quite an interesting start for a couple of guys, both good and bad.
And that is for certain. This is something that we also discussed last week in Homestead, where that race was the second to last race of the year last year, but then got moved to early in the season. And we're going to have that discussion again in a couple weeks' time at the Auto Club Speedway. We had a lot of tracks that moved from early season or moved from late season races to early season races, and it kind of changed how the dynamic of the Homestead race went down. Are you expecting that to happen again at Phoenix? Could that potentially mean these guys are a little bit more mellow than they were in the last one?
Well, I would hope so. We didn't see a lot. We saw a lot of mellowness in practice, albeit a couple people made some interesting moves and interesting choices, and ended up having some interesting laps. I'm going to use that word a lot today, probably. But I would imagine that, yeah, a lot of the drivers, especially since a lot of the guys who are sort of up at the front in the standings are kind of up in the front right now, I would imagine it's more mellow. I don't think there's going to be another three wreck insanity. And of course, the last year's winner is out of this race. So yeah, I would imagine it's people are going to be pretty chill probably up until the end, where people racing for the win are just going to race for the win. I don't expect anyone to do something super aggressive and end up flipped over like our pole sitter George Bryan was.
Great segue, Eddie. We're going to go straight into the starting grid. Since you mentioned him, George Bryan is starting on pole today. He went upside down last year, ended up finishing last. He's looking for some redemption this year. And starting on the outside of row one, surprisingly, for the second year in a row, it's Kaylee Maxwell in this 52 car. This 52 has been really fast no matter who's been in it, which is crazy because it's outpacing the two full-time cars for Blake Everett Motorsports. I'll be interested to see what Maxwell does here today. She was very fast here last year, and she was also very fast here in this 52 car when she's driven it before. So there's going to be a lot of Cup guys that are, or a lot of Cup teams rather, that are keeping an eye out on this 52 car when Kaylee Maxwell's in it, because she's been doing some impressive things here. Row number two, speaking of impressive, Joanna Clark in the 58 is actually starting inside the top three here today for Diamond Motorsports. This is the second week in a row that a Diamond car has started in the top three. When Bellinger started second at Miami, she fell back by the end of the race, or they fell back by the end of the race, and ended up finishing about, I think, 31st. So Joanna Clark trying to avoid the same fate here. And to her outside is the 8 car of Darren Walker. Row number 3, we've got the 9 of Lori Jackson with a new sponsor on that car, and there's a few cars with new sponsors on them. Grattan Industries on the 9 this week, and alongside her is the 11 car of Tim Berry. Row number 4 is the 29 of JB Chanot and the 18 of Zach Dearman, and then it's the 24 of Cooper Spur and the 88 car of Billy Smith. Row number 6, Jake Sidney, new sponsor Office Depot, driving a very similar paint scheme that Denny Hamlin wheeled to victory lane at Darlington last Sunday. In fact, it's pretty much the exact same scheme. And alongside him is the 85 of Charlie McCarran. Then it's the 41 of Karina Willis Calloway and the 39 of Lakin Herndon, who is in some deep trouble in the points and would love to have a good run here today and try and get himself out of it. Then we have the 32 of Paula Sasequa, attempting her first LSCI race in the number 32 for Pacific Racing. She's going to be starting in 16th in the same row as the 27 of Adrian Fusen. Then we have the 57 of Shauna Everett alongside the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck. Shauna's got a new sponsor on that car. Of course, Heinz came on board to sponsor the 57. Then you got the 65 of Tamron Bellinger and the 62 of Vinnie Scholes. The 99 car of Akio Tajima and the 55 of Michael Harvin, two drivers that ran pretty well last week and were competing with Tyler Landry for the win. Then it's the 81 of Jack Gino and the 36 of Ashley Blake. Jacob Lopez in the 50 car and the 66 of Tyler Landry, who, like I just mentioned a couple rows ago, won last week at Homestead. Then it's the 16 of Corbin Taps and the 92 of Kate Summers. McPickey Motorsports has won the last 2 races in a row, but most of their cars are starting deep in the field here today, as you can see. Damon Kirby in the 13 and the 1 of Kevin DuPont again with a very far back qualifying run. He just has not been getting good starts, and he's been having to climb through the field every single week. So you got to think that something with that one team that they got to be working on this season is trying to get some better starting positions. Adrian Wheeler and JT Boyd. Boyd has also had to climb his way through the field in a lot of races this year, and he's going to have to do it again here today. Row number 17 is the 70 of Andrew Kreider and the 45 of James Harvin, who finished top 5 last week. And then rounding out the field is the 6 car of Holly Martin. It's going to be an 80-lap race here today. It should be a one-stopper. They should pit right around halfway, around lap 41 or so. So that'll make things interesting here. If it goes green, we might see some guys that try to undercut a little bit to try and use the potential cautions to their advantage. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving at the end of the race, depending on when the cautions fall and whatnot. But yeah, this could be a very interesting race here at Phoenix. Again, last year we had 16 lead changes and an intense battle for the win between Lulu Connie and Rebecca Raymond. But coincidentally enough, those are the 2 cars that didn't make the race this week. So an encore of their battle is not going to happen for either of their drivers. And for Rebecca Raymond, it's been just a disastrous season. That's her 3rd D&Q in 4 attempts. So you got to think that the 35 team is going to have to make some big changes here soon.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off of the backstretch here at Phoenix. Of course, this is an older version of Phoenix where the start-finish line is still on the straightaway and not in the dogleg like it is in real life. Eddie, who do you think is going to win the race today?
I think it could come from anywhere, but it might come from the person in the most low-pressure situation and starting relatively up front. Jake Sidney's a rookie, 26th in points. I think he had a win last year in a part-time car. And, it'd just be nice. I think he can pull it off if he gets a little bit of luck and a little bit of a low-pressure environment.
Sidney looking for his 2nd career win, starting in 12th today. But it's going to be George Bryan and Kaylee Maxwell leading us to the green. We are underway here at Phoenix. Coming out of turn number 4, we are 3 wide for the lead. George Bryan will lead the first lap. And Darren Walker and Joanna Clark are on his inside trying to make the pass. Walker looks like he's got the best chance right now as he's on the inside of the 3 car. Clark slips back to 3rd. The 3 slides up the racetrack. We mentioned in the pre-race it's very hot out there and not a lot of grip on this racetrack. But Darren Walker is going to move into the lead as we complete lap number 2. Brian looks like he'll stay clear of 2nd, and then they're still 3 wide further back with Tim Berry right in the middle. Got to be careful not to crash. Early crashes are not too uncommon here, so these guys got to make sure they keep it together.
I honestly thought Joanna Clark was about to make some sort of rookie move that ended in putting someone into the wall off of turn 1 there. I'm not going to lie. I'm just happy they kept it straight. But, man, Darren Walker, I am surprised he managed to wriggle his way past 3 cars into the lead because he's, all alone right now and watching everyone else stack up 2 and 3 behind him. 29 cars come out of nowhere, too. JB Chanot has had to get around a couple of guys. But oh, boy. Oh, that was some door slamming from 3 different cars. And that's going to... Oh, now 52 is up wide. Okay, they're going to hold on to it.
Lots of dicing around here.
Absolutely.
Up at the front of the pack. But Walker stayed in front of all of this. George Bryan, Joanna Clark, JB Chanot has been gaining some spots since the start of the race, like you mentioned, Eddie. And JB Chanot has been having some solid, quiet runs, other than, of course, losing the race on the last lap at Atlanta. But she's been staying up in the top 5. She's been having one of those JB Chanot season starts where she starts up in the top 5 in points over the first few races, but the last 2 seasons she's fallen off at the midway point. So she's doing what she's been doing the last couple seasons, but they just need to make sure that they can execute the whole season instead of just the start of it. And George Bryan is trying to attack Darren Walker here for the race lead, but he's not going to get there.
I find it funny. Brian seems like he waited the first 5 laps. It was going to get turned into a flip again, and now he's starting to try and move for the lead, going for that left quarter panel. Better race than last year so far for him, at least. But yeah, JB Chanot, really surprised. I'm not surprised to see him up here. He's had a good. Oh boy, that looked like something looked crooked there. I don't know if it was contact or just the way the camera was looking, but Chanot's going to help Brian get the lead off here as long as both of them can clear Darren Walker, or Chanot's going to make it 3 wide. This is going to be interesting. Eesh. Oof.
Brian trying to retake the lead away from Darren Walker. He made a big move there in turns 3 and 4 on the inside. He's got the 29 right on his back bumper, and I mean on it. Very dangerously close to that quarter panel. Chanot might be trying to move him out of the way, but it's not going to work, and Brian will get the lead back. Zach Dearman, Billy Smith now in the top 5 as they've gotten by the 58, the 9, and the 11. And now here comes Chanot for another attack here on the inside. She wants to get to the race lead. Underneath Darren Walker for 2nd now, and also has the nose under Brian. Looks like she's going to get the run off of 4 here, unless Brian can get the power down. And they're side by side going into 1.
All right, what's I guess this is really what Darren Walker's going to do with the push, but it does not matter. Wow, Chanot really got the corner there. Is going to clear. That means now George Bryan's stuck on the outside. Billy Smith and Zach Dearman. Yeah, we have a lot of good starters up in the front today. Like outside of Darren Walker, all these guys in the top 10. Speaking of Darren Walker, there he goes to the lead. Oh, that looked like some contact with the wall with the 29. Didn't look like there was any damage, but that car looked dangerously close.
29 did not even get to lead a lap. Got passed immediately back by George Bryan and also Darren Walker. Bryan now going to move up into 2nd and try and challenge Walker back for the lead again, as these front 3 are trying to pull away from the field. Joanna Clark staying up here in the top 10 in that Diamond Motorsports car. Very impressive run so far for the rookie. Trying to get back into the top 5 by passing Zach Dearman, who I believe is the current points. No, I think McCarron's the current points leader, but Dearman's in the top 3 in points. McCarron is back here just outside the top 10 and 13th, but she's going to get underneath right here. And JB Chanot looks like she's going to get under Brian for 2nd. Lots of passing going on in this race, and this is again similar to what we saw last year. Although last year we kind of saw we saw Laurie Jackson kind of pull away from the field on the first run, and then the chaos really didn't start. Aside from the George Bryan accident, it didn't really start until Tim Berry had that tire failure on the front stretch, and then it kind of bottled everyone back up, and then the chaos unfolded from there. But clean race so far, 13 laps into the race. And JB Chanot is now putting some pressure on the 8 of Darren Walker.
And that's what I've kind of been expecting from the start here. After Walker got out in front, I kind of expected him to maybe get somewhat of a lead, but Chanot and Bryan have been holding on. So is, I guess, Clark and Smith are just close enough. I mean, they were within a second as, oh boy, Bryan went to the inside on that turn. A lot of cycling. The numbers in the top 10 every time they go across a lap keep flipping around. You now see the 85. Curly McCarron just did make it into the top 10, running the low line. Zach Dearman's dropping in the back. It's really just a who's in the bottom line right now. And
Look at who's up here. The 81 of Jack Gino. He is flown through the field. He is going to move his way up into 5th, it looks like, past Clark. Clark is holding tough on the outside, but the 81 should have the preferred line into 1 and 2. You can make that outside work in 3 and 4 pretty well, but 1 and 2, it's a lot harder to get going. And Hudson Motorsports is doing a good job so far. 2 cars in the top 3, and then Jake Sidney. It looks like Sidney has fallen back. He's back in 22nd right now. He's right in the hornet's nest. Oh, Shauna Everett almost just cut off the 79. And Shauna Everett's had a miserable season after that win in the Clash at Calder Park, so she's just hoping to get something out of this race. Crashing out would be the last thing that she'd want to do here. Billy Smith. JB Chanot took the lead and we missed it. Billy Smith is going for 2nd. Gee, that's all you got to do. You just got to point away from the leaders, and then they'll make a pass. That's just how it works in NR.
Yep. Appreciate the ballpark scheme, but nevertheless, it is really the inside lane. Is that 81 is looking like he's trying to poke it. This might get a bit interesting. It is. We're going 3 wide for 3rd.
3 wide for 2nd.
Oh, it is 2nd, and Jack Gino is absolutely flying. He was started a bit deeper in the field than the other 2 Hudson cars, and yet he's overtaken both of them. And it looks like they're going to get through 3 wide for about a lap cleanly, but he might need some help on that inside if he wants to get clear of Billy Smith and challenge Chanot, because Chanot is pulled up to what is now a half-second lead. Maybe this is the car.
Oh. No, you go ahead. Finish.
Oh, that was about it. Don't worry, dog.
I was gonna say was this is what we saw in the amateur race. We saw the guys in 2nd keep battling each other, and that's kind of what allowed Dawson Lynn to get out to a big lead. There was a late yellow that almost screwed him over in the end, but he still ended up winning that race. And this is something that we got to keep an eye on for these guys in 2nd, not to battle each other too much. Instead, to kind of focus getting up to the leader first and then battling. Gino has broken away from those guys up to 2nd now. He's been a big mover in this race. So definitely a very strong Hudson Motorsports Ford here. And he is on the attack, trying to get past the 29 of Chanot. Billy Smith and Darren Walker are fighting for 3rd behind. And it looks like Billy Smith's actually going to take the spot, but the 8 has still got the nose down there. And for the race lead, here comes Jack Gino to the inside of JB Chanot.
Only 13th. This would be a huge win for him, and I don't want to say don't look now, because I don't know how far he's going to move up, but a name that just happened to pop in the top 10 these past couple laps, Paula Sasiqua in a Pacific car, out of nowhere, is now in the top 10. Did she? Yeah, and she's holding in front of Vinny Stoles, of all people.
Her teammate.
Well, at least Pacific's doing pretty good.
These 2 are doing pretty good. The 3rd Pacific car is not doing so great. Kate Summers is all the way in the back here. She has not had that much pace this season. Oh, no!
What happened? What the heck happened?
The 57 and the 52 both had mechanical failures at the same time. What a disaster. The 52 is out of the race. Actually, I think the 57's failure was from one of the previous failed start attempts, so Shauna Everett is just fine. But the 52 of Kaylee Maxwell is out of the race with a header blown, and that's a shame for her. She started outside pole. We missed Jack Gino take the lead. JB Chanot now under fire, but That's a tough break for the 52 car.
I was about to say Blake Everett may have just gotten burned here at Phoenix, but regardless, we did end up seeing the Gino pass. I think I just moved towards the Sequa because it looked like Gino had it. But yeah, no, this is. I mean, it's huge for Jack Gino. It's huge for Hudson, who's been sort of sitting. I mean, they're sitting behind McPickey, Patriot, and Walker Bros in points. A win here, plus Dearman getting a good run, plus I mean Jake Sidney just hanging it in there might get them ever so slightly closer to this owner points battle, which will help in the end. I mean, every race counts. But yeah, man, Gino is absolutely flying. This I don't want to say this is a car to watch because we've obviously watched him go all the way to the front, but this might be the car where it's his race to lose. It could be lost by someone else, but it's his race to lose.
Yeah, and we're only 26 laps into the race, so we still got plenty of race to go. Last year's race, we thought Lori Jackson had the car to beat, and then the caution came out and she fell back. But Jack Gino's looking pretty good on this first run. And you mentioned the owner points battle. It's not something that we really mentioned that much on the broadcasts, but there is a constructors standings battle. You can go and look at it in the sheet if you're curious, and I believe the current leader of that is Patriot Racing Incorporated, the 88 and the 3, and both of them are in the top 5 right now, so they're looking at another good day here. But we also have two of the Walker Brothers racing cars up here. We mentioned there's 2 Pacific cars inside the top 11, and also 2 Hudson Motorsports cars up here as well, so they're looking for pretty good days on that front. But Jack Gino's starting to pull away from JB Chanot here, almost out to a second lead, 9/10 to be exact. Smith in third, Walker fourth, and then we got a battle back here between Brian, Dearman, and McCarran. Charlie McCarran up to 7th. These two are 1-2 in points, I'm pretty sure, so this is a battle between the top 2 drivers to start the season. McCarran doesn't have a win, but she's been really consistent. She's had race-winning pace almost every single week. Zach Dearman has nailed that consistency down, and then, of course, had that win at Atlanta as well. So these two have been off to the strongest starts so far, and it's too early to call for championship contenders, but these two are definitely at the top of a lot of people's power rankings right now. And Paula Sasikwa is continuing to gain spots, up in 8th. Not too bad for her first start in the 32 car.
Pacific Racing. Ta-da! Anyway, what I'm surprised about is we talk about Walker Brothers, Patriot, and Hudson. Those are 3 of your top 4. In second, who's only like just a tiny bit behind Patriot, is McPickey. And McPickey has just been, this has not been their race. I think you talked about it at the beginning. They qualified poorly. I mean, I guess the 11 is up here with Tim Berry, but then you look for Holly Martin. Who else?
Tyler Landry. And Holly Martin.
Actually, Landry and Holly are not too bad. They don't have a couple cars in the top.
Be careful.
Oh
that's
no,
rival,
Shauna,
that's rival teams. Blake Everett Motorsports and Checkered Flag Racing. Be careful. Those two are going to race each other hard. The other McPickey car, Corbin Taps, he's just not at the pace today. He's back in 30th. Oh. Kevin DuPont's still back here too.
Either has Jake Sidney. I mean, Jake Sidney, I think, got stuck on the outside and has fallen back. So that's going to hurt Hudson in the end, which means Walker Brothers and Patriot have a good chance, except there's a Walker Brothers car currently fighting with a McPickey car. I'm sure they're not having a bit of a scrap on the radios over keeping ahead of people. And yeah, man, that 81 car is gaining by the second. It's really going to have to see if we get green flag pit stops, because this race could really be decided on a pit lane battle if 81 happens. But yeah, race, it's been a lot of cycling, so maybe we get a caution, but I think the mellow vibes have been helping us out. So mellow that we missed someone's engine blowing up entirely.
Jack Gino looking for his 5th career win, which would tie him with Jacob Lopez for most all time. He's won a race in every single season of LSCI, so definitely a very talented driver. He was kind of stuck at Diamond Motorsports while they were tail spinning in seasons 2 and 3. got traded to Hudson Motorsports in the offseason, and it's been paying off for him so far. He's been running a lot better, and this 81 car is looking pretty fast to start this race. And we are approaching the window for people to make it to the end. So definitely got to watch out for these guys starting to pit within the next 5 to 7 laps, I'd say. Maybe a little bit later. It just depends on how long these guys want to wait. Our furthest up battle right now is this one for 5th between McCarron and George Bryan. Paula Sisiqua also lurking. JT Boyd has been gaining some spots. Remember, he started back in 31st. And he is now challenging for a top 10 spot as he's to the inside of the 11 of Tim Berry, right behind Zach Dearman. So another good drive for JT Boyd. He's been having a lot of these this season. He's been struggling in qualifying, but he's been able to salvage something out of nothing in all of these races here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a trait you really want out of a driver. Certainly might move some eyes toward him, although it's NH Motorsports, right?
That is an NH Motorsports car. How about this move by
okay.
Paula Sisiqua?
Oh my
trying
God,
to get to
Paula
the inside of Bryan, trying to get into the top 5. They're 3 wide. McCarron in the middle.
Can we just talk about Paula Sisiqua is going 3 wide with a guy who was a championship contender last year and currently the championship leader, and is both fighting them off. And,
Man,
well, I'd say that, and then that was a bit of a rookie slide. You got it though.
Sisiqua was in the Regional West race here earlier in the week rather. So she has run on this track already, but not in a car as powerful as this one. So it's impressive that she's up here. But this is a hornet's nest right here. Boyd looking to pass Dearman as well. This 77's looking pretty fast. If he can catch a break to get up towards the front, then definitely got to watch out for that car. As McCarron looks like she's going to take the 5th position back from Sisiqua, but Sisiqua's hanging tough on the outside. Again, very impressive run for her. She's trying to roll the outside here.
Boyd is looking at that left quarter panel.
Great battle here for the 5th position.
Yeah.
Sisiqua's going to be clear. What a run for the 32.
Speaking of NH Sports, where's Adrian Fearson? Just want to check on things.
Fearson is in the 16th position, so not too far behind JT Boyd.
Not too far. That's just kind of in that mid pack. It really is just a hornet's nest. Just no one's gotten stung yet. But given it's Phoenix, we saw what happened last year. It could really happen at any time. I mean, I'm surprised we made it through someone having an engine failure, and no one ended up causing something. So it's gonna be interesting how this race plays out, because we just crossed the 50% threshold for going to
Here we
get
go.
up. I was just about to say pit stops. Here we go.
Walker was the first one to go in. Jake Sidney and Jacob Lopez will follow, and Gino will come in on the next lap. This is the window for these guys to pit. Here comes the 29. The 32 is going to attempt to lead a lap here, and it looks like she's going to do it. How about that? A lap led in your first race? That's pretty good. Oh boy, be careful.
Oh, Lopez.
That car's coming in and out at the same time, so gotta watch out here in the pit lane for any potential collisions. And we'll see who gets out of the pits first here out of this group. Bryan has the #1 pit stall, although he dropped a lot of spots in the on the track, so we'll see how much it benefits him. The 81 is already leaving the pits. And he's going to be the first one out from this group. Then we got a couple other cars trying to stretch it further. Checking back in here, looks like the 62 came in. The 32 and 77 are battling each other. And it looks like they're both going to come in this lap on lap number 43. This should bring everyone else in, except for the 66 of Tyler Landry, who's going to stay out to lead an extra lap. He is right behind Jack Gino on the fresh tires.
Jack's pulling away from him.
Yeah, we should expect the 66 to come in next time by, but so far so good in terms of the cycle. We haven't had any issues yet, knock on wood, but they've been pretty clean with it so far, and definitely better than the last race in terms of lack of accidents. Landry is the final car to come in and pit, and he will make his pit stop now, and that should hand the lead back to Jack Gino once this is all said and done. And he is still pretty comfortably ahead of JB Chanot. Walker is in third. Billy Smith, Charlie McCarron. Looks like Boyd is going to move up to sixth. Jake Sidney has potentially gained a ton of spots in the pits here.
Did I? Wow. Well, at least I got something right.
He undercut,
Well,
so he's going to be on slightly older tires than the cars around him, but he gained some track position out of that. He's trying to get to the inside of Paula Sasiqua here, and he is scored in the 9th position. Well, he will be in 8th. The 66 has yet to cycle out, but
that's huge for Hudson Motorsports, because now Ehrman's just outside the top 10, and Jack Gino's up here. So, banner day for Hudson Motorsports. Let's see if they can keep it, though. Sydney might have to fight his way for the top 10 if he can keep it.
Jack Gino has a 4-second lead on JB Chanot. Looking pretty good out there in that 81 car. If this thing stays green, I don't see how they end up catching him.
I don't either. Yeah. We're gonna have to just see what happens, because I'm surprised that he got out to this big of a lead. This might just be let's see where everyone else finishes. Jack Gino might have just run away with this thing, and yeah.
Billy Smith and Darren Walker battling it once again for the 3rd position. Charlie McCarron looking for another top 5 this year. And then we've got this battle back here. Jake Sidney just lost a couple spots to Holly Martin, who started in last, and the 18 of Zach Dearman. So this has been a great drive from Holly Martin, getting all the way up to 6th after starting in 35th. So a lot of big movers in this race. We already mentioned JT Boyd. You see him in 10th right now. James Harvin, who started in the back, is in 12th right now, your Rookie of the Year leader. Jacob Lopez, his teammate, is not too far behind. Corbin Taps has salvaged some spots here. He's up to 15th. Tim Berry and George Bryan have slipped back considerably, 18th and 19th. And Joanna Clark, who started up front, has slid all the way back to 26th.
Oh,
and these guys in the back are getting pretty crazy too. And our defending champion, Kevin DuPont, just has had no speed whatsoever today. 33rd. Damon Kirby looks like he might have had some damage repair. That probably explains why he's so far back. But I am shocked by the lack of speed from the 1 car. And DuPont has not been all that fast this year. I've been kind of surprised by it. He had some pace at Homestead, but it fell off immediately. And then it's just kind of been runs like that this season, where it's not what you'd expect from the defending champion.
No, not at all. I mean, and then you look at Walker Bros. Otherwise, Holly Martin's. But no, I looked at the wrong. Darren Walker. I mean, he's 19th. Those are the. Oh no, and then Charlie McCarron's first. So it is weird how Walker Brothers have. I mean, the leader right now in Charlie McCarron, who's currently, you see him here fighting with Darren Walker. There are 2 of them, and the 88, Billy Smith. So yeah, this isn't a Walker Brothers problem. This is a DuPont issue, or just something about DuPont's car, because you see it here. There's the 85. There's the 8. They're battling for a podium spot, and possibly if they keep like this, they're going to be in the top 5. So one of those mysteries. We're going to have to see how this season plays out and see if someone can solve it.
Martin gets past Dearman, back for 6th. Paula Sasiqua still in the top 10, running in 9th right now. James Harvin trying to crack into the top 10. He and his brother Michael Harvin became the first set of siblings to finish in the top 5 in the same race in LSCI history last week. So that was a bit of interesting history that they made. Michael's not running as good as James is right now. James Harvin just intimidated JT Boyd out of the way, and that's going to move Harvin up into 10th. This 45 car is looking pretty fast, but I don't know if he's got enough time to really get up into contention for the win. He could definitely gain a few more spots, though. Jake Sidney's starting to slip back on the older tires, but he's still He's still better than where he was earlier. He's in 13th, and he was back in like 27th. So, could be worse for sure for that. For that 19 car, Michael Harvin. We just mentioned him. He's back in 29th, not having a great run today. Will the 81 have to deal with the 13 here? The lead is stabilized at just over 4 seconds. So JB Chanel is about as fast as the 81 is now. Maybe they made some adjustments on that 29 car to try and get her up to where the 81 is, but they cost them a couple seconds in the pits. And now, if I'm her, I'm just kind of banking on a caution here. But we've been completely caution-free through 56 laps, so I don't know what the chances of that happening are at this moment, but they are racing pretty aggressively here in some parts of the pack, but actually they're pretty single file right now, aside from this battle for third, which has been raging on for probably since the pit sequence ended there.
Yep, this is gonna come down to someone. Might be something similar to what we talked about, the Tim Berry thing, where it's gonna be like a single car out. Oh boy, we almost think that was insane.
Risky business there from McCarron. Almost slid up into Billy Smith, but they keep it going.
I think this might be something. If something were to happen, it would have to be a single car accident where a tire is blown or engine overheats and it just stops a car on the racetrack. And caution for obstruction, because at this point, yeah, there's just not a lot of like side-by-side battling going on, outside of maybe a possibility that someone, around the 20th position, people are fighting for that. So yeah, I mean, what else can you say about Jack Gino in this car other than it's been a great day for Hudson Motorsports, and he has weathered what was a pretty crazy, pretty interesting start with all the cycling, and he just cut his way straight through it and has not looked back.
He sliced through the field effortlessly, and as soon as he got the lead, he has not given it up. So that car is very clearly the fastest car in the field. JB Chanel is losing time to him. These guys are battling pretty aggressively once they get side by side. I saw the 18 try and bump and run the 6 a couple laps ago, and he might try it again. I also wanted to... he might have tried it again right there. Trying to get to the inside of the 6. Dearman's getting very aggressive. The 85 is up in third, so he wants to gain some points on her. Even though it's race 4, these guys are definitely still thinking about points here. I also wanted to point out the 79 of... Never mind. Hold on. We got 3 wide. I want to point out Kobe Hollenbeck. I don't think we've mentioned him all day. He's currently running in 8th, so he's having a good run. Laken Herndon is also up to 10th. This is the run that he needed after the terrible start to the season he's had. And, he's running pretty good right now. He could maybe salvage some points out of this. And so there's 3 Columbia Motorsports cars right now inside the top 10, and the 4th one's in 15th. So you've been talking about the owner points battle a lot, Eddie. There's another wrench to throw in that. All 4 of the Columbia cars, despite not all of them having a ton of pace today, have ended up in the top 15.
That'll certainly help. Yeah, that'll definitely help in the end. Especially since you're Columbia, you're, I guess, the big Toyota team, but you're behind. A couple of teams maybe you think you're better than. You can prove it today. It's hard. It's hard because we're watching and it's sort of like it's thumbing around, waiting to see if there's going to be a wreck. Because if there isn't, Jack Gino is gone and is one of probably the more dominating wins we've had on LSCI. But yeah, that 13 could cause problems. Damon Kirby is a rookie. Checkered flag racing. There could be issues with that, but I don't see much else happening other than that. I guess the other big story out of this is Paulo Sisiqua has been holding in 9th so far, so we may... Oh, except here comes the 45 out of nowhere, where James Harvin decided he wanted to lock down Rookie of the Year as early as possible, because here he goes.
James Harvin, Laken Herndon, putting the fight to Paula Sisiqua here. She's, again, had an amazing run, and interestingly enough, this is the second race this 32's been entered, and in both of them, the rookie driver making their series debut has been outrunning the 2 full-timers, so Maybe something to think about if you're Pacific Racing. You see these part-time cars outrunning your full-time cars, and maybe you think about potentially adding one of them to your lineup next season. But oh boy, Charlie McCarron's losing positions now. Zach Dearman is going to get by her. Holly Martin is probably going to get by her. This 85 car and the 8, both the Walker Brothers cars up here have kind of fallen off here late in the run. I expected that from the 8 because he short pitted, but I'm surprised that's happening with the 85. The 6 is getting into her a little bit. There is a non-zero chance that we get a caution because we still see cars getting into each other, using the bumper and sliding into each other in the corners. So as long as they're still doing that, there's always that chance that it goes wrong and ends up in a crash. But they've been keeping it together pretty good here. Lap number 67 of 80, so we're almost at the end of this thing, but there's still enough time for things to start going awry for the 81 of Jack Gino, who's out to a 5.3 second lead. I mean, he just needs to mind his own race, run his laps, and just not worry about anybody else right now. But if you're Jack Gino, what do you do when that caution does come out and all of a sudden the whole field is right behind you?
I mean, at that point, I think Michael Waltrip said it best. You're just mirror driving. You're mirror driving for the rest of the race. I know it's not Daytona. No, it's not a super speedway, but you are just gonna have to fight off everyone. Use every bit of your mirrors as necessary to keep blocking. And it might be down to the crew chief just telling them where the right lane is and how to run it. And that's really all it is. Might just be some in-car strategy that'll save these guys. But the 45 and the 18 have been doing well on this long run. Harvin out of nowhere, and then Dearman has been making up positions. Not going to be enough time, but if Dearman can replicate what he's doing right now, should there be a caution, even though we're 10 laps into it, Dearman has a shot at a win. And if nothing else, it's two drivers on the podium for Hudson, which is huge.
Yeah, Dearman is up to third now. He could potentially take the points lead in all this, considering McCarron's car has fallen off pretty considerably. There you see the 8 of Darren Walker as well. You see the 4th Columbia car, Akia Tajima, running in 13th right now, still gaining positions. Oh, Taps and JT Boyd, the 2 main Rookie of the Year contenders from last year, getting pretty close there. Lori Jackson running in 16th, not too bad there. For the 9 car, once again, is the highest running checkered flag racing car, as she has been the entire season. But Holly Martin just passed the 18 for third, and all of a sudden this 6 car is looking pretty fast. I don't know if there's enough time for her to catch JB Chanot. There's definitely not enough time for her to catch Jack Gino without a yellow, but you know, it's the 6 car is looking for another good run here. She finally got that first career win at Rockingham a couple weeks ago, got the monkey off her back, and now she's looking for another good run here. She had a pretty bad season with McPicky last year, but it looks like, you know, the team owner was right in at least for now in terms of still believing in her. He said that she wasn't going to lose her ride. He still believes that she can perform in this car, and she's proving it so far. Looking at her second podium in the first 4 races, if she can hold on here. Right behind JB Chanot and Jack Gino.
Gino's catching up to Kirby. I don't think it's going to matter much without a caution, but you know, there's always the danger. Everyone in their mother knows what Kevin LePage did that one time. All it takes is one bad move out of someone who's just trying to stay in front, and there can go a lot of the race, but maybe even this one. But I'm sure Kirby's just gonna be polite with everything. I know he is a rookie. I know checkered flag is in a bad spot, but at this point, you don't want to make any more enemies. Yeah, Jack Gino is just absolutely killed this race, and
we're gonna have a battle for second here. The 6 and 18 are closing in on the 29, so these guys will be fighting each other for the runner-up position more than likely. Billy Smith, Kobe Hollenbeck, James Harvin not too far behind. Paula Sisiqua has fallen outside the top 10, but still a good run for her. Darren Walker has also fallen outside the top 10. The 16 and 77 are still racing each other pretty hard. Again, there's still a non-zero chance that we get an accident, but as the laps wind down, that chance becomes slimmer, and also becoming slimmer is the chances of that caution even sparking a restart. Because if it happens too late, then the race is just going to be over. And we almost saw that happen in the amateur race. There was a caution that came out with 3 to go, and yet somehow, or it came out with 4 to go, and yet somehow they were still able to get a 1-lap shootout in at the end. But that's where we're at right now. 4 laps to go, and Gino's got a 6.4 second lead as these three battle
Yeah,
each other
there he
for
goes.
second. This is looking like one of the biggest margins of victory that we've seen in LSCI. He has absolutely put a hammer to the field here today. Nobody's been able to touch him ever since he got the lead.
Yeah, there was just no stopping him. It was just cut through the field like a hot knife through butter, and that was all she wrote. And yeah, JB Chanel, I think, is going to drop out of the podium positions. Great run, but these two cars were faster on the second stint, and he had a good run the first stint, just couldn't replicate to hold off these two cars who are absolutely charging. So
Zach Dearman's going to
yeah,
try and get Hudson Motorsports a 1-2 here. If he can get by the 6 of Holly Martin, he's got 2 laps to do it. But look at him. He's caught up to the lap car, but I don't think the lap car is going to be much of an issue right now. He's just kind of minding his own business. What a run that this 81 has made here. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Jack Gino, looking for win number 5 to tie him for first on the all-time wins list with the Jacob Lopez. Just been an outstanding performance here for that 81 car. Dominated the race as soon as he got up to the lead. He sliced through the field. He did everything right here today. Just a flawless race here from Jack Gino. Your Season 1 champion. Coming out of turn number 4. He's going to get win number 1 of the season, and he's going to get it here at the Phoenix Raceway. Holly Martin will finish in second. Zach Dearman third, JB Chanel for fourth, and James Harvin almost swiped a top 5, but Hollenbeck was able to hold on. Lakin Herndon with a much-needed top 10 as well. And your points leader, Charlie McCarron, will finish in 10th. But this is the man of the hour, though. Jack Gino put on an absolute clinic here. One of the more dominating performances that we've seen in LSCI. He won by 6 seconds here, and he was up even bigger at points, but just an impressive performance all around from that 81 car.
Absolutely. And I mean, for that team, Hudson, Jake Sidney, my pick, kind of disappointing race in the end, but other than that, Hudson's got to feel good about that. Patriot, I mean, George Bryan all the way down in 19th does not have to feel good after what looked like he was going to have possibly a guaranteed top 5. Billy Smith, did Billy Smith also fall back, or did he?
He finished
well,
7th.
it's a 7th. That's not too bad of a fallback. This was an interesting race. Holly Martin with a big, I guess, second second top 5 of the season. Chanot gets a good top 5. Zach Dearman, second top 5, and then Jack Gino only had 1 top 10 so far this season. And
That was a 10th
decided
place.
it was.
That was a 10th place finish at Atlanta, so
Yeah, he decided this was his race to win, and we'll point out Charlie McCarron might not have the championship lead anymore, but he is kept. That's his 4th top 10 of the season, just barely squeezing it out over Kia Tsujima, so he keeps that streak intact.
yeah, she's finished top 10 in every race, so that's been good for the 85, and especially considering the other 2 Walker Brothers cars. Although Walker was up there for a little bit, he just didn't have the right strategy. That undercut did not work out well for him as the run went on. I bet he was banking on a yellow or something, but it didn't end up working out. And then Kevin DuPont just had no pace all race long, so it was just a rough outing for the 1 car. Rough outing for Kate Summers, who's been struggling for speed all season long. Shauna Everett with another bad run in the 57. So a lot of drivers that have been struggling. Damon Kirby, of course, has been struggling as well. So a lot of drivers that have been struggling this season, not really helping their case here today. But we had some others that were able to salvage something, like Laken Herndon in the 39 car, and also Corbin Taps in the 16, finishing 13th. He's been fast this season. He's just had pretty bad luck. This is probably like the least that we've seen of Corbin Taps in a race in terms of being in contention, but he still got away with a pretty good finish. So Tim Berry as well has, I believe, also finished top 10 in every race, but we've yet to see that like crazy race winning pace from Tim Berry that we saw last year, but he's just been quietly finishing top 10 each week, and that's the stuff that championship contenders do. And Barry thinks that he is a championship contender, so he's been proving that he is. He's last couple years he's been top five. I think he finished seventh in points actually in season 3. But he's been one of the main drivers here, and he's proving that. Laken Herndon, even though he's been off to a bad start, he finally got a good finish here. But the 18, the 29, the 85, as well as the 11, all four of those drivers who are up towards up towards the top of the points, getting more top 10s. And again, it might be a little early to call championship contenders now, but these four are definitely looking pretty good at the start of the season. 34 cars finished the race. They all finished on the lead lap. The only retirement from the race was Kaylee Maxwell, who blew up. And there were 0 yellows in this race as well, which there were 3 of them last year. So, Eddie, were you expecting that clean of a race?
No, I wasn't. I really was thinking you were going to have some sort of repeat with a caution making things a bit interesting, but the gods smiled upon Jack Gino today and granted him what was essentially a free pass to the win with the car he had. And I mean, the way he was driving it that first stint meant that he could. I mean, I don't even think he coasted the second. He probably gained some time from where he was on the first stint, but he was just gone. There was nothing you could do about it. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess the biggest news is that uh, Hudson is showing that they have some pace, and um, that's about all you can really take out of this. Much else, I guess Blake Everett Motorsports is still cursed or something, but yeah, it was. We have a couple of we at least have some emerging storylines, and right now one of them is if we do want to talk about owner standings, we might have a bit of a fight. These drivers might be throwing hands for I guess the chip at the end of the season, if anything is to show for it.
Yeah, next week we are going to be going to our first road course race of the season at Circuit of the Americas. And what are you expecting to happen in that race?
That might be I guess a true test. First road courses are always true test, but we're in the throngs of the season now, so somebody is gonna uh some people might show up there that we don't expect. Some people might fall back there we don't expect. Be a good litmus test to see what might happen later in the season. I know there's very good chance that road course is one of the last races, although I forgot to check. But
Willow
that will
Springs.
certainly. Yep. Oh, of course it's Willow Springs.
Willow Springs is the third to last race of the year, so that's going to be an important
Yep.
one for them to get right.
Yeah, so good litmus test for later in the season, and we will just have to see. I mean, if anyone's got if anyone's got I can't even think of what to say. If anyone's got the skill to really navigate those tracks, because again, with Willow Springs being that late, that could really pay off if someone's just trying to stay in the championship hunt, trying to widen that lead, or I don't know, trying to beat your rival so you get a good paycheck and maybe even a jump to a better car next season.
Drivers to watch out for on the road courses. We have quite a few drivers that are pretty good on them. Adrian Wheeler is one that comes to mind. Kobe Hollenbeck is pretty good on the road courses. Tyler Landry has also been historically pretty good at them as well. So it's possible that those drivers start showing up at that race. But also keep in mind, Coda is a very different kind of road course from Willow Springs as well. Willow Springs is a lot faster pace, a lot more sweeping corners than Coda has, but Coda has a lot more like more of those sharper hairpins, but and it's a lot longer of a track as well than Willow Springs is. But either way, first road course race of the season. I'm always excited for the road courses. You really never know what you're going to get with those. And that's definitely going to be a fun one to watch as well. Last year's Coda race was really good, so maybe we'll get more of the same this season. Well, that's going to do it for today's festivities. Once again, congratulations to Jack, Gino, and Hudson Motorsports on the win. This is Hudson Motorsports' second win of the season, and the first 4 races have been won by 2 teams. So that's very interesting. Not really something that we've seen, but with these new ratings differences in the cars and drivers, it is something to be expected. We definitely have a lot of other contending teams like Patriot Racing and Columbia Motorsports that have not won yet, but they've definitely been up there. So I mean, Columbia Motorsports had a great race today. Their worst finishing car was a Kia Tajima in 11th, so that's definitely nothing to scoff at. But it'll be interesting to see if any of those teams could get the win within these next few weeks. But that's going to do it for today's broadcast. And again, like we said, next week at Coda, our first road course race of the season. Going to be a fun one as well. On behalf of Eddie, this is Brennan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network signing out. Here are your points after race number 4 of the season, which will show up on your screen right now.